What we're doing today is on dhyana paramita, which is a talk entitled Samadhi, How to Unify Your Mind. So, the paramitas we've been looking at, these 6 paramitas, and these are kind of what are called 6 transcendental virtues or practices of things which all these terms that you may or may not be used to, but you'll get used to them during the talk, of the bodhisattvas, the bodhi beings, the beings of awakening. Yeah. And these 6 paramitas are dhyana or giving, generosity, sila, uprightness, prashanti, patience, virya, energy or energy in pursuit of the good, dhyana, meditation, and prajna, wisdom. So that's the kind of list that we've been going through, and that's the context of the talk in a way. That's what we've been looking at in the last four months, and today we're looking at dhyana meditation. Okay, so some of you today may have only just practiced meditation for the first time. Yeah. But many of you here or online, you've got a sense of meditation. You've got a sense of how we sit down, how we take a pause from what we call our life, and we tune into ourselves. And in tuning in, we connect with ourselves. So meditation is a process. It's a process of becoming aware, present, and connected. And I'm going to talk about meditation as a process of training in 6 attitudes or 6 skills that we can develop simultaneously, actually. And these 6 skills are what we need to practice if we want to deepen our meditation. And the 6 skills I'm going to talk about are grounding, staying with, letting go, receptivity, opening the heart, and unification. So, meditation is a practice of training in grounding. And to ground means to come fully into our present experience. It relates to the whole territory of arriving, connecting into our experience, arriving into the experience of the body and the breath. And the way of understanding this is that you come to recognize what is going on with you in this moment. In terms of physical sensations, mood, energy, and mental activity. We ground when we start to experience how we are. You might be comfortable and at ease. You may find it difficult. You may not know how you are. Or we may find ourselves agitated, annoyed, irritated, numb, stuck. There may be a certain amount of mental noise, anxiety, emotional, physical discomfort. We may find ourselves pushed into trying to control or to connect with ourselves, trying to control our experience, bored or disinterested. But grounding ourselves and connecting how we are, however, is the base practice of meditation. So when we sit down, we can ask ourselves, how am I? Physically, mentally, emotionally, how am I? And the answers may not be obvious. Yeah? May not even be obvious in this set or even the next set. But what's important is this kind of turning toward and connecting. Starting to be open to how we might be. A preparedness not to know. A willingness to investigate, to ask, how am I? A willingness to inquire and find out. Most directly available to us are physical sensations. So listening to our bodies, to tune into the multiple physical sensations available to us. sensations that we're genuinely unaware of. To ground means to come fully into our present experiences of sensations in the body. And as we do that, we notice how we feel. We have layers of moods, feelings, emotions, and responses to situations, and background thoughts that often we're just not very aware of, not conscious of. So paying attention to physical sensations, we start to become aware of our body posture. And starting to pay attention to physical sensations and body posture, we start to become aware of the feelings. Paying attention to physical sensations, body posture, and feelings, we start to become aware of our mental landscape. The dialogue, the current dialogue of thoughts or mental events. And this process, it's through this process of connecting and becoming aware of ourselves that we rebalance ourselves. Rather than being out there in our heads, our ideas, or how things should be, we become more aware of ourselves and we start to connect just to be. Aware of ourselves in the world. Connecting with ourselves is the primary basic skill of meditation. No matter how difficult, whatever's going on, whatever thoughts or feelings, however dull or unconnected we feel, grounding is the grounding in the world, grounding in everyday lived experience. The ability to be more aware of ourselves, more connected with how we are, developing a kind awareness towards ourselves and how we relate to others heals. But most importantly, grounding, becoming grounded is an experience, which has a particular feel, a taste, an atmosphere. As we meditate, we learn, discover, and explore what being grounded, what being more connected, what being more ourselves feels like. Staying with, training and staying with. The quality of gentle determination to become aware and connected. Staying with. So this meditation is a process of becoming aware, present, and connected. And staying with recognizes that this process is not altogether straightforward. We have an intention to do something. We start, but sooner or later we get distracted. Our attention moves away. We lose focus. We lose our purpose. We wander off. Staying with is to keep ourselves aligned with our purpose, our intention. It's a skill that we learn to develop in meditation, but transferable to every aspect of our lives. It requires being clear about our intention, what we want, reviewing where we are, having regard back to our intention and purpose, and making adjustments. To stay with, we need to be clear about our intention. And that may sound straightforward, but it isn't always so. We may understand the concept, become aware, present, connected, but you also need to develop a kind of experiential understanding of that. What being grounded, what being more connected, what being more ourselves feels like. We need to develop this knowing through experience. And this happens as we meditate over time. So there's a process of clarifying. There's this process of deepening our understanding of what our purpose actually is. Having a particular regard to our experience, the felt sense, what it feels like to be more ourselves. Meditation then is a process of review. We sit down, we develop a sense of how we are now in this moment. Then intuitively review our experience against our purpose, our intention. Our understanding how it might be to feel more ourselves. It's like having a map of where you want to go. I'm here, I need to understand where I am. I want to get there, I need to understand, at least to some degree, where that is. And then we make adjustments so that we can move towards where we want to get to, where we want to arrive. So mindfulness meditation, the main activity is the coming into, the grounding into our current experience, being clear about our purpose, our intention, and then navigating, adjusting, aligning ourselves so that we move towards where we want to go. Staying with the intention and our current experience of the body and the breath, then adjusting to become more grounded into our current experience, become more connected with ourselves, be more present with what's here. And when we get distracted and wander off, when we get lost, well, it's just staying with again, is the process of recognizing what's happening. Becoming aware of our diversion, remembering what we're trying to do, our purpose, our initial intention to connect, and then correct. To come back to our current experience, come back to our purpose, reconnect, choosing to navigate our way back towards our destination. Helping us come back, practicing, training ourselves to stay with our purpose, being aware, present, connected, being with the breath, dwelling and well-wishing, is a quality of gentle determination to become aware and connected. So the third attitude, training, I'm going to talk about is letting go. So rather than achieving or accomplishing, meditation is actually a process of letting go. Letting go of things that get in the way. Letting go of hope, desire, wanting a particular outcome other than to experience what is. Letting go of trying to do the meditation or trying to have a particular experience. Letting go of thoughts and energies that take us away from being present. Letting go of fear. Fear of connecting, of being with experience, of being with feelings that we may find are difficult. Letting go of not being in control. Letting go of an unwillingness to experience ourselves in a different, perhaps deeper, even more positive way. Fear of letting go of habitual ways of who we think we are. Whatever it may be that's binding you, we practice grounding ourselves in our current experience, practice staying with, practice letting go. Sitting in the space between hope and fear. Is an experience of just being present to what is, to the now, the present sensations. Staying in this place between hope and fear, we let go of thoughts and views. Sometimes it can just be a slight loosening of the jaw or relaxation in the cheek, a softening in the stomach, an opening in the shoulders, the body feeling heavier. As the earth supports our weight, we drop, connect, relax into the breath sensations in the body. Body, mind start to become still, become one. Meditation is also a practice of training and becoming receptive. On the other side of letting go is receptivity. We let go of those things that stop us being present, and we become receptive to the qualities of being present. Qualities which include contentment, stillness, enjoyment, sensitivity, and openness. Meditation, one might say, is a practice of letting go of mental habits that keep us distracted and dispersed, and practicing training in mental states that are about becoming, being more unified, more here, more present. And that's a gradual process of learning to recognize what these more conducive mental states feel like. Learning to recognize when they are not currently present. Learning how to cultivate them. If we want to connect more deeply, be more here, be more present, then we need to develop an attitude of being open to what might be. A willingness to let go of the loud mind telling us what to think, what to do, or telling the world how it is, or how it should be, and a willingness to open to qualities of being that are not currently present, and open into something else, another way of being. It means coming into a softer, quieter, more sensitive, more receptive part of ourselves. It requires not knowing, and then a patient, kind softening, being more open, sensitive, receptive, content, kind to ourselves, to the more subtle energies in our experience. This sensitivity can't be forced. It can't be thought. It needs to be felt. Letting go of cognitive thinking, the mind trying to sort, control, fix. We need to become more receptive to the subtle, expansive sensations. Enter into another way of being. Sensitive, open, still, more spacious. There's a poem that I came across, I'd say in my youth, but it was quite a long time ago, by Robert Frost, American poet, called The Silken Tent. And it goes like this. She is, as in a field, a silken tent. At midday, when the sunny summer breeze has dried the dew and all its ropes relent, so that in guise it gently sways at ease, and its supporting cedar central pole, that is its pinnacle towards heavenward, and signifies the sureness of the soul, seems to owe naught to any single cord, but strictly held by none, is loosely bound, by countless silken ties of love and thought, to everything on earth the compass round, and only by one's going slightly taut in the capriciousness of the summer air, is of the slightest bondage made aware. It's a love poem, but also perhaps a poem about poetry itself. Like all good poetry, it points towards the open dimension of our being. We could perhaps be forgiven for thinking that meditation would provide ultimate answers, how to be, sort us out. But actually it's more poetic, more like poetry. In that more spacious way of being, there is no one fixed meaning. Sensation eludes being defined or fixed. Experience has a richness and a complexity that can't be tied down, and at its best only points. In meditation, we are, as in a field, a silken tent, and as we let go, so that all the ties that keep us bound relent, we too turn towards the sureness of our soul. Not held by any single cord, but loosely bound by countless silken ties of love, sensation, and thought to everything on earth the compass round. And only by one's going slightly taut in the capriciousness of the summer air is of the slightest bondage made aware. Meditation, too, is a move towards an open dimension, towards an unfathomable richness of consciousness, towards a mystery, the texture of reality. Letting go of holding on is a way in which we become receptive, sensitive to the texture, the taste of our lives, the texture and taste of our being, the texture and taste of how things are, the sureness of our soul. Meditation, perhaps more than anything else, is a way of investigating our being. What is below the surface of us, at the heart of us. The practice of opening the heart. So being much more than just paying attention. As important this first step is, in fact, meditation is an opening of the heart. So much of the time, we think that we need to get rid of aspects of ourselves. When we find ourselves craving material things, sweet food, comfort, people, ideas, which we want to make us whole, or rejecting parts of ourselves, our competitiveness, our vulnerable parts, it's easy to think that part of ourselves is to be rejected, amended, fixed. And then the meditation or mindfulness is a way to get rid of those parts of ourselves which we think are unacceptable. Thoughts arise that we're not good enough, that we can't meditate, that we should be more like this or that. We think that if only we could stop thinking, but all meditators start wanting to be without thoughts. The thoughts keep coming. They can't be stopped. And the more wood, the bigger the fire. But we can just be with. Just be aware. And let the thoughts arise. Just be aware and be with whatever arises. It is said, whatever it may be that is binding you, once you become aware of it, it is liberated. Furthermore, if you understand this extraordinary way, you will go to the place of the Buddhas in this life. Being with whatever arises involves an opening of the heart. Ultimately, the practice of developing awareness, being with whatever arises, free from hope and fear, nothing wrong, nothing to be rejected, remaining present in an uncontrived state between hope and fear, between wanting and not wanting, where there is nothing to prevent, to be got rid of, to be produced. This is primordial awareness. And it's said, this is the very heart of the Buddhas of the three times. We may not recognize the Buddhas, but it is precisely that. Apart from this awareness, there is no Buddhas. There are no Buddhas. So when we bring an open-hearted awareness to our being, our looking, we allow whatever is present to be as it is, and then allow it to dissolve back into the void. As we gradually let the fixed preoccupations of the conceptual mind dissolve, we start to glimpse another way of being. The insight of the Buddha that the Buddha discovered was so simple, yet so difficult to see and accept. His teachings direct us to a dormant, hidden, unrealized part of ourselves. And that's the great paradox of the Buddha's path. As we open our heart, we practice to know what we already are, attaining nothing, going nowhere. Training, meditation, and unification. So unification is both a meditation skill, a training, and the result of the process. As we ground into our current experience, as we stay with our intention of being present, coming back, being here, as we let go, sitting in the space between hope and fear, as we soften and open ourselves to how we are, who we are, as we open the heart, our heart, to everything on earth, the compass round, we unify. And we unify at more and more subtle levels. We develop a deeper experience of contentment in just being here. We become more committed to our purpose, committed to sitting in awareness of the now, of this experience. We deepen our sense of engagement, enjoyment, being. Unification is both a life skill to be developed and the result of practice, a result of grounding, staying with, letting go, receptivity, opening the heart. It's something that we drop into when we let go. It's an experience, a feeling, a different way of being, like a helium balloon, full, content, at ease, expansive, mind spacious, open, body heavy, feelings of depth, of being totally aware, at ease, content, fulfilled, alert, grounded, absorbed. It's a feeling of both withdrawal, otherworldliness, spacious silence, yet being totally present, totally available, vividly aware in each moment. No thinking, thoughts, no distraction, just deep, deep being, deep, deep contentment, sitting, being aware with a spacious, open heart, unified, absorbed. Ryokan, who's a Japanese poet some time ago, said this: deep in the valley, a beauty hides, serene, peerless, incomparably sweet. In the still shade of the bamboo thicket, it seems to sigh softly for a lover. When all thoughts are extinguished, I slip into the woods and gather a pile of shepherd's purse. Like a little stream making its way through the mossy crevices, I too quietly turn clear and transparent. Turning clear and transparent, one unifies. And this unification is obvious in one sense and deeply mysterious in another. Quoting Sangharakshita, he said that when we first come along to our first meditation class, we don't have any real individuality. We're just usually a bundle of conflicting desires, even conflicting selves, loosely tied together with a name and an address. But as we meditate, we bring more and more of ourselves, our differing selves, our differing desires, our differing energies together. We unify and align our energies so that we are more able to be present, more able to attend to the task at hand. We align and unify so all our energies are flowing in the same direction. The more we turn clear and transparent, the more we integrate, unify. Sangharakshita also talks about meditation as a process of horizontal and vertical integration. So we integrate conscious and unconscious levels of ourselves, gather up the whole of ourselves. Conflicts between different parts of ourselves, different energies resolve. We become concentrated, absorbed, unified, integrated. And then there's a unification of our conscious mind with what he calls the supraconscious, so that all energies together are flowing in the same direction. Like a little stream, making its way through the mossy crevices, I too quietly turn clear and transparent. Over the course of a meditation, over our life of meditation, we unify ourselves, grounding, staying with, letting go, becoming receptive, opening the heart. Samadhi is the Sanskrit word that's translated into English as meditation. And it has various interpretations. Samadhi can be understood as state of the original balance or perfect balance. Parts of the word can be translated as together or integrated, towards, to get hold of, which then could mean to acquire integration or wholeness or truth. Or it can be seen as together, toward, puts, places, a putting or joining together. Uniformly or fully to get established. So a state wherein one establishes himself or herself to the fullest extent in supreme consciousness. Even intellect. A state of total equilibrium of a detached intellect. A state of being in which all distractions between the person who is the subjective meditator, the act of meditation, and the object of meditation merge into oneness. Britannica defines Samadhi as the total self-collectedness, the state of utterly absorptive contemplation. That's undisturbed by desire, by anger, or any other ego-generated thought or emotion. It's a state of joyful calm, even rapture and beatitude, in which one maintains full mental alertness and acuity. Sangharakshita notes, going back to Sangharakshita as our base source of information, he notes that it can be understood in two rather distinct ways. It can represent the establishment of the mind in a single object, in the sense of mental concentration, absorption in the experience in this moment, the total part of ourselves coming together in this moment, the total mental concentration absorption into one's current experience. In this sense, it relates to the deeper meditative absorption experience that are called dhyanas. Secondly, and in this fuller, deeper sense, samadhi can be understood as the establishment not just of the mind, but of the whole being within a certain conscious awareness. The whole being fixed and fully established in the awareness of reality. That mind, the consciousness, the whole being, fully established, has the qualities of stability, alertness, aliveness, equilibrium, happiness. So the Bodhisattva, the being whose life is dedicated to the attainment of enlightenment, the being who wants to wake up, train themselves to practice at deeper and deeper levels of consciousness into the process of becoming aware, present, connected, becoming more and more fully, deeply ourselves. The process of understanding our experience at deeper and deeper levels of unification. And the deepest, the aligning of our experience with our understanding. The Tibetan word for meditation, gom, means to become familiar with how the mind works, how the mind creates, shapes, how the mind creates and shapes our perceptions of ourselves and the world, how the outer layers of the mind, the constructed layers, function like clothing that identify and mark our perception, our reading of the world, function like clothing that we use to cover our experience into a story of who we are, how the world is, covering veils which cloak our natural, naked, non-fabricated state of original awareness. Ideas of here and over there are elaborations of our primary awareness. Ideas of me and mine, the same. Separateness arises from ideas and notions, elaborations that we add to our experience. Ideas added to veils which obscure our basic perception. Our notions of fixedness, unchanging permanence, can quite easily be seen to be false when we examine them. However, we continue to view ourselves as separate, fixed, and unchanging, and operate from the world from that position of a fixed, separate self. These personal stories coexist within a larger reality. Beyond the labels, the veils, the coverings, exist within a boundless reality. A boundless reality which is obscured by a habitual small mind, patterns of thought, views, and ideas. A boundless reality which is always there, always available. A boundless reality not contingent on circumstances or concepts. And Buddhism names this boundless reality as ultimate or absolute mind. The mind of absolute reality. The mind of pure awareness. Everywhere and nowhere. Like sky, like space. The boundless awareness of an open heart. Samadhi is the fifth paramita, the practice, the training of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhi being, the being who wants to be awake, ultimately aligning experience with understanding, clear seeing, thoughts, the dance of the Dharmakaya, appearances, self-radiance, of mind. The process of becoming aware, present, connected, grounding, staying with, letting go, receptivity, opening the heart, unification, mind-body, fully established, stable, alert, alive, aware, happy, unified, at peace.